So welcome to morning Sunday morning coffee rant with Dan. And I just gotta say, fuck, this shit is crazy. Now that I got that out of my system, I feel better. So I don't know. There's a few things I want to talk about that is happening in our world right now. Let me play a little music first. So now that we got that out of the way, I'm going to speak some common sense stuff to people. Okay? Extraterrestrials that actually do exist aren't coming out of our oceans and flying with all these lights on over New Jersey. Those aren't extraterrestrials. That's human-made vehicles in reverse engineered technology. Extraterrestrials have enough technology. If they don't want to be seen, we're not going to see them. And they don't look like that. Why are they flying over New Jersey? What about all those fires that just happened in New Jersey? All the woodland areas. I guess they don't want people to be able to go into woodland areas, do they? They're queuing up Project Bluebeam, and they're also queuing up the fake alien invasion that's coming. And you think that us conspiracy theorists are wrong. I have a let me have a sip of my coffee. I have a theory, and I'm guilty myself because I've been bamboozled in the past and I've been wrong. I admitted I was wrong. When you admit you're wrong, you say you're sorry, and some people just can't do that. Some people feel that saying sorry, I was wrong, they feel like they're groveling. I don't see how admitting you're wrong and saying you're sorry about being wrong and groveling actually even go in the same sentence. Okay? They want people in this world to grovel. You know, now they're warning. They just killed a child and 20 some other people in bombings in northern Gaza, and they're warning everyone to get out of Gaza. Where the fuck are they going to go? The whole world's working together for this world's demise. All the governments of the world are working together for the demise, and they're being ordered what to do by an extraterrestrial that is not on our side. This isn't human driven. Don't think it is. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Beings that live for millions of years, if not otherwise completely immortal unless otherwise killed, can very easily hand down some stuff and say, hey, this is prophecy. And for them, 3,000 years is a drop in the bucket. I prophesized on Friday that I'd be going to the firing range today. And my God, so far, all the things that I prophesized about leading up to this point have happened. All that's left is to go to the range. Now, I prophesized that 3 days ago, but then again, my lifespan is only about 70 to 80 years. If you've got extraterrestrial beings that live forever, or if not for millions of years, you don't think they can't arrange this stuff to happen and have their human minions do it for them? Or their minions that appear human do it for them? Everybody who votes, all voters, all of you, you've been fooled, hoodwinked, lied to, bamboozled. I don't think I have enough adjectives. And it's okay to be fooled, bamboozled, and hoodwinked. Okay? Conned. You got conned. They're good at doing that. And I was all those things too. I was bamboozled myself. But what's going on with these UFOs coming up out of the ocean, that's man-made technology. Those aren't extraterrestrials. So they're not doing nothing. They just want to be seen until they start getting shot at. Oh, speaking of shooting, the CEO of what's that insurance company? Oh my God. Because I used to have that insurance company like 20 some odd years ago. They do in fact suck and turn a lot of stuff down, like all insurance companies actually. He was a power broker, and they wanted to take him off the board. And they did. And now they're using it as an opportunity to say it's because of 3D printed guns, it's a threat, blah, 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 and blah, 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 right? You know, at the 12-year anniversary of Columbine, I hear on the news that they're saying it's just a threat. They want to try to take guns away from people, and it's way bigger than just that. They just don't want us to have the ability to fight. So for all you gun freaks out there, I'm not a gun freak. For all you gun freaks out there, trust me, they don't want to just take your guns, okay? They don't. But they don't want us to be able to fight. They don't want to even give us a fighting chance. So they want to get our guns. And all the people who are like cheering and happy about this CEO being murdered by his own game-playing people, both sides are still playing games. We're the pawns in the game. I'm not going to cheer for some piece of shit getting killed any more than I'm cheering for innocent people being killed, murdered. We got to take a look at the bigger picture. Just zoom out, start connecting a few dots, and look at what's happening all over the world. Do you think all these things are happening in the world? And I'm speaking specifically to the United States of America and American voters. Do you think everything's happening in the world because of who the United States president fucking is? It's not. What's happening and not happening in the world has nothing to do with who our fucking president is. Okay, lefties and righties, dummies, stop voting. We need to unite. Hey, everyone get mad at me for calling y'all fucking dummies. If it makes you all get together and start critically thinking and looking at what's actually happening in the world, I'm fine. I'll be a martyr. Dumbasses. If I can see this as a Lance Corporal E3 from the United States Marine Corps who specialized in strippers and beers, where's our high-ranking, really smart, college-educated officers, intelligence officers? Where are you guys at? Why are y'all staying quiet, you order-following fucks? Like, this is... I've been doing a lot of talking on radio where I can't speak like this, so I'm just kind of venting now on my own platform where I don't care what anyone says. And I don't really inhale too much of this. It's cherry tobacco. It smells good. Probably get some of it. You know, every once in a while I will drink a beer. I know it's not healthy for me. Or I'll have a Bombay drink. It's not something I do all the time. I'll smoke a pipe maybe once a day. I usually don't do it in the morning. It's usually in the evening. But it's not exactly healthy for me. But it's in balance, so it's okay. I won't eat a Big Mac. I won't eat any of that garbage that they call nutrition. I have a fairly clean diet, but I do cheat and have some bad food once in a while. So I'm by far not some perfect person. But you want to know what's really bad for your health? Slavery and government. And all governments of the world have enslaved us since the beginning of human history. We were created as a slave species. Read Slave Species of the Gods by Michael Tillinger. Read all Zachariah Sitchin's work and Eric Van Daniken's work. Start researching on your own. Start realizing that all the contradictions in the Old Testament and the New Testament are complete trash to keep you fighting with one another about the minutia while they do whatever it is they want to do to us on this planet. You know, when they made it so where we could reproduce on our own, they were told to leave us alone, and there was a faction of them that didn't want to. So, you know, the scriptures are filled with half-truths. Just like all the psyops in the world, many of them are filled with half-truths. That carrot dangling that they do in front of you, it has to, like, you got to be salivating over that carrot. There has to be something in it to be truthful. for you to go for it. And they get you to go for it. And then after the carrot comes the stick. Now the stick is coming. Quit blaming a political party. There's no political solution to this. You know, I got very angry today when I seen this kid dead and his aunt crying, and they're saying because of two supposed Hamas people in that area, we decided to fucking blanket just destroy everything and kill a bunch of other innocent people. Fuck this bullshit. There's no excuse for it. No excuse for it. And all you people on the right who are all, we're for Israel, we're for isn't real. Isn't real, we're for isn't real. Support isn't real. Their religion doesn't even, I know I'm getting loud here. Their religion doesn't even support your religion's savior. To them, Jesus is shit. But you're like, let's go and let's support them. But you all scream a lot about pedophiles. We hate pedophiles. Well, of course, who doesn't? Because it hurts children, right? And if you hurt children sexually, you're a bad person. But it's okay if we blow them the fuck up. Just blow them all up. Let's ethnically cleanse an entire race of people and kill the children. You're not fucking them, you're just blowing them up. That's okay. Go team. Everything they're doing is doing to get a visceral reaction out of you. To keep you locked in hateful emotions. So I'm not really angry. This is an act. I'm angry, but I can control my emotions. We as a race need to stand up and say no. We need to keep the education outreach going, but things are starting to amp up now. Okay? They're amping up. So you better be training. You know, as Hulk Hogan would say, saying your prayers, eating your vitamins, do a lot of training. You should be doing all kinds of firearms training and seek people who are professional instructors in it so they can teach you. I hurt my finger, but luckily for me, I've trained and I can pull the trigger with every single one of my other fingers on both hands. Maybe you should be training that way because you could get one blown off in a fight. Are you going to just stop fighting if that happens? Because fighting is coming. They're doing a slow squeeze on us. If they squeeze too much too fast, they would risk uniting this country. Because what I've seen in the last couple of years is a lot of left-wing people who are more moderate left, but still hardcore left. They didn't even vote this past time. They're now closer to being anarchists than ever before, or libertarians, or whatever you want to, call it. The far right wants more freedom than the far left. But my message to the far right is you've got to get congruent, okay? Our freedom is predicated on congruency. You have to get congruent in your beliefs. The supporting Zionist Satanists who aren't even Semitic Hebrew Jews. They're from Europe. They're from Poland. They're from any place else that got sent there. When you say they like to play with words and they say you're anti-Semitic. The only Semitic people in that area of the world is the Palestinians. Do some fucking research, okay? When you say you're for Israel, I stand with Israel. I hate pedophiles. You better never fuck a child ever. That hurts them. Blow them the fuck up, though. That's perfectly fine. Does that make any fucking sense? You have to get congruent in your beliefs. Okay? Jesus was an awakened human being. He was the Son of God. He wasn't lying. And I am too. And so are you. The spark of the divine is within all of us. Okay? He said this. The kingdom of heaven is within. If you think it's in the sky, the birds will get there before you. If you think it's in the ocean, the fish will get there before you. It's within. I am a king. Once you realize the truth, you'll all be kings. What he meant is, what is a king? We're sovereign. So he was trying to teach the truth, and they murdered him for it, or attempted to, because he didn't really die, folks. They switched out people. That's why in the Bible, he didn't look like him when he came out of the cave, but it was him speaking strangely, but they knew it was him somehow. It's because after 3 days with advanced healing modalities, they got him on the move. He died sometime in his 60s between Rome and Jerusalem. He was married to Mary Magdalene. Mary Magdalene was a high priestess from Egypt. She was one of Jesus' main fucking teachers. That's something they don't want you to know. Because they're putting women down. They've done it throughout all of history. So they tortured him on a cross, called a crucifixion, right? Thomas, he took into a cave and told Thomas some things from the Gnostic text, if you read it. And I believe the Gnostic text because they kept the truth out for a reason. And then they turned around and what they named Thomas. They decided to give him the moniker Doubting Thomas because he knew the fucking truth. Because that once you find the truth and see the truth, at first you'll be disturbed. Upon being disturbed, you will be amazed. And then you will be a ruler of the all, a master of the all. Because you're part of God. You return to God. We are sent here to remember who we are and go back to the light. I can get into why they want to keep our consciousness here in transhumanism. That's why this is a spiritual war. God grows through our experiences. If we don't go back to that, is God growing? Who's trying to play God here on earth? That's what real Satanism is. Satanism isn't some red guy with horns and a pitchfork. That's some supernatural being that the Christians don't like. And by the way, Satan only killed a few people in the Bible. It was God who killed millions. You know, I've said this before. That's the devil. That isn't God. They played a trick on you. You all were bamboozled. And if you want to know the truth on why that the bearded guy in the desert sky is a devil, you don't have to do a lot of research. Read the Old Testament. Read the Old Testament. Child sacrifice, wasteful animal sacrifice, human sacrifice, fear-based bullshit. They wanted to keep you vibrating in fear then. We were slaves. Read some of these books. Slave Species of the Gods. Mass Engineering Human Consciousness by Jim Keith. William Cooper, Behold the Pale Horse. Everything that's happening in the last 4 years, he wrote about in 1990. He was found mysteriously dead in 2001 after trying to warn people that they're going to fucking run planes into some buildings. You know, folks, quit staying so ensconced in your stuff that you can't really look at what's happening. We're in a population control agenda. Everything they do is aimed at that. Everything. There's this girl who last year, I'm not going to even say her name. I really don't want to give it a whole lot of energy, but she slept with like 100 and some odd men in a 24-hour period. Now she wants to break the record and sleep with 1,000 men in a 24-hour period. They're taking everything and they're just inverting it. That doesn't... Now, if it's consensual, that's fine. I think it's stupid. It's robotic. I feel bad for her. But if that's what a person wants to do, and it's all consensual, I really don't have a problem with what adults agree to do. That's consensual. But this really seems like a satanic sex ritual to me is what it does. Because it creates all this loose energy. And they throw it out there to keep you distracted. They're doing all this stuff with combat sports to keep you distracted. That's why they got some big fights coming up next year. Because next year we're going to need some extra distractions is what the fuck they got going on. Hold on a second. I gotta do it a little bit. I inhaled a little bit too much, and now I got a head rush. That's how you can tell I'm really not that much of a smoker. Like, I don't inhale that much, but anyway. Oh, wait a minute. Bill Clinton didn't inhale either, did he? So anyway, you got to try to reconcile the contradictions that you have in your belief systems. Okay, if you don't want children to be hurt, does it matter if they're hurt in one way or hurt in another way? Are there levels of hurt? I see no difference in the hurt. You know all the families that are being hurt when you hurt a child? You're okay with children being blown up. And then the left's okay with children being sexualized. And this clown that's right here, when they have men acting as women, transvestites, and they dress up like clowns and go into schools and try to teach 5-year-olds about, what sex they are. This is all purposely being done to create these real divisive reactions with people. And it's all evil. All of it is at the same level of evil, okay? So I keep hearing when I tell people that I don't vote, you have to pick a side. You have to pick a side. The lesser of two evils. Listen, the lesser of two evils is still evil. I'm going to try not to cuss anymore. I think I got all that out of my system. The lesser of two evils is still evil. And when I see evil in evil, the lesser of two evils, all I really see is the same evil. The same game, the same people playing the same game to control us. We have to start getting out of our, controlling our egos and getting out of our egos. You know, I know someone personally who thinks apologizing equates to groveling. That's how messed up people are. You know, I don't know. This is a weird Sunday morning coffee rant with Dan. I just seen all this nonsense going on in the world, and I just, you turn on the news and it's like, yes, they're up there. We see them come out of the water. They're drones, but they're extraterrestrial looking. Follow Dr. Stephen Greer's work. Do some research. Don't just look at the news. There's books out there you could read. There's videos. You don't even have to read. YouTube the stuff. Google it. You eventually will come upon these videos. We're not going to solve these problems. Okay? One, these problems are not going to be solved from the same level of consciousness that created them. Okay? So when I get up here cussing and stuff like that, I know it's not really, it's cathartic. It's not really doing much. But we're not going to be able to solve these problems still stuck in ego. We have to do some inner work to get out of the ego and really take a look at things. And it starts with healing the contradictions within our own belief systems that allow us to believe all the lies in the first place. I have no script here. I just started. I seen some stuff on TV today, and then a friend posted something, and I seen the murdering of children in northern Gaza, and they're warning. They're so nice. There's people in Israel. They're just so nice, the military and government, and Israel is just, they're beautiful people. They're actually at least giving warnings to the people in Gaza to get out of Gaza. But it's blocked off and there's no fucking place to go. Where are they going to go? Oh, it angers me so bad. And see, in the microcosm of my own life, I have the same problem with certain people's egos. If they say sorry and admit they're wrong, they're groveling. Everyone's blinders on, blinders on. I don't know. The bearded guy in the desert sky, all three versions that people murder each other over, is a devil. That's not God. Okay? That's not God. That's a 3D being that's very human-like, actually, just with a lot more technology and they're longer lived, but very, very petty, wanting to be worshipped. Think about it. If you're really good at martial arts, do you go around talking about you are? Do you want people to praise you that you are? Or do you just show people you are? This God wants to be worshipped, wants blood sacrifices, put no other gods before me. That means there's other gods because there's other 3D beings that wanted to be worshipped too. See, most of them are on our side. They're higher sentient and they're on our side. And they're, after World War II, when we dropped, I think it was 1940, wasn't it 45? 1945, we dropped the bombs on Iwo Jima and Nagasaki. Split the atom, boom, major destruction. That shook things on an interdimensional level. Now we had this technology that can really, really do things and hurt things. And the extraterrestrials did not like that. These beings did not like that. And at one point in the 50s, they shut down every nuclear power plant across the world simultaneously. And that's when they did in 1959 the famous flyby. Okay? The famous flyby, the White House. Y'all don't believe that, though. They fake that somehow. But these things up in New Jersey, they're definitely not man-made and reverse engineered technology from crashes that happened, from Roswell and other places. Nope, that's definitely aliens, and they're not doing nothing. You think maybe they're just waiting for us to shoot at them, and that gives them their excuse to have their fake alien invasion that isn't even alien invasion? You don't think they don't have weather controlling mechanisms? The contradictions in people's thought processes are just they're quite amazing to me. They really are. They're amazing. Anyway, to put you at ease, I want to just say those are actually human beings up there that shouldn't put you at ease, actually. If they were actual extraterrestrials, I'd feel safe. That's not extraterrestrials, man. That's people being commanded and doing as they're commanded, okay? Because people will do anything for money. I've already tested that shit out. People will do anything for money. I think of the pilots who are knowingly spraying. What are they being told? What are they being told that makes them feel okay with spraying all the chemicals they spray in these chemtrails? Where is this higher altruistic purpose that they believe they're doing? How are they being fooled into that they're the good guys? Yeah, I probably seem like a raving lunatic or a madman to people, but I don't even critically think. It doesn't take critical thought. To me, just regular think, and you can see this stuff. So I just want to, it's a Sunday. I did a little bit of church today. Jesus was crucified, and then what did the Satanists that run this world do? What did the cabal do? The cabal was back then too. What did they do? Taught Christians within a few hundred years how to venerate the very instrument used to torture and murder people. Worship this instrument called the crucifix that people were tortured and murdered on. Okay? And then the upside down crucifix, that's trying to diss Jesus. Peter wanted to be crucified upside down, not like his Lord and Savior. The upside down crucifix and the upright crucifix is still a fucking torture and murdering device. I might as well get a necklace with a small little guillotine on it and wear a guillotine. People can't see this? Is that sacrilege? Why would you venerate of the very thing that was used to murder people on, and including supposedly murder your Savior? I think Jesus was a beautiful human being. So was Muhammad. So was a slew of other, very flawed people who were trying to tell the truth. So was John the Baptist. Beautiful human beings trying to tell the truth, understood the nature of humanity, and they were murdered for it. because there's a force on this planet, an involuted force that does not want us to evolve. And we're at the precipice of possibly evolving with telepathic and maybe even telekinetic abilities within a generation or two, and they know this. So they want to stop it. They had to rush things ahead. Meanwhile, they call the Palestinians, they said that, well, they were the Phoenicians, that they were worshippers of idols and soothsayers. Soothsaying is wisdom. Soothsaying is truth-saying. Their idols were crystals. They knew how to use crystals and the different properties of different crystals. They had advanced energy healing modalities. So did the Jewish Essenes, the true Hebrew Jewish Essenes, which were cousin bloods with the Palestinians or with the Phoenicians. This didn't take a lot of research on my part. I've dabbled in this research for about a year, and it wasn't hard to see and put together with everything else. I'm talking specifically to stuff in the Middle East, specifically the stuff with what's going on in Palestine. But they want to keep you arguing. First off, Jesus was not God incarnate in human form. We all are. I am. You are. That's what they don't want you to know. I'd carry a crystal in my pocket with certain properties in it that's been purified before I wear a crucifix. Why would I want to wear something that was used to murder and torture people on? You've been bamboozled and fooled. That's the big trick. The great deceiver deceived you. You've been deceived. And they're using the 24 original books of the Hebrew Bible or our Old Testament, and they'll even say it's even in your Bible, that they don't really, the Jews don't really, I shouldn't say the Jews, the Israelites, the Extra-terrestrials, don't even acknowledge. They think Jesus is swimming in shit. They don't give two shits about him. They're clowning you. They're clowning you because you stand with Israel. And I'm not against the citizens of Israel. I've seen video of citizens in Israel protesting, and this is why I hope if the tables get turned, that the Palestinians and other Arab nations will be the bigger people. And don't blanket policy this, because there's a lot of citizens over there that actually protested this, and they were getting beat up by the police and thrown back in their houses. And they were wearing blue. That's how I knew they were the police. And they looked more brutal than the IDF. So they're not all bad. I don't speak bad against any human being, any being at all in the world. Regular people just want to live their lives. Stay distracted by all the distraction-tainment that they're putting out there. And have fun. We're at the end of the world. Have fun with it. Okay, cool. So now I can have the music on and you can probably hear me. Let me turn it off. I just can't help. I just can't help myself. And I ain't trying to be like anybody else. This is me. Anyone who thinks I'm trying to be like anybody else, this is fucking me. I grew up in the city and I was a cop for 25 years. You don't think I can't be jaded? You're wrong. I am very jaded. Another thought that came to me. We're not going to be able... Another thing with a lot of the right voting people, your other hero, I'm not talking about the rich guy who just got elected president, who may never even make it to office, which is part of the plan to get you all to kill each other. Your other hero, Elon Musk, he's got a web of low-hanging satellites, hundreds of them, with all these G5 towers, 5G towers, 6G being built, and 7G already in the chamber. Okay? Our brainwaves are electrical. They want to put chips in your brains. They could already affect you anyway, through different, modalities anyway. But now they want to put chips in your brains. And you can do a lot of good. You could do a little good, but they're not going to use it for good. Name a time in human history where that's been done. You're not going to be able to go hide any place. You might be able to for a little bit, but there's major disasters happening. There's a lot of things going on. Don't think you're going to be able to make a garden and live off grid. They're not going to let you. You better be gathering your stuff together. You better be training. And you better be willing to fight when the time comes. And get with other people that are the same mindset. And have discernment. I can't stress discernment enough. When I was on my deathbed, only love and discernment. That's the voice that came to me. Is only love and discernment would drive out hate and fear. And, it is love and care that makes me even speak out. Nobody knows who I am. I don't care. I'm still going to put my voice out there, and I'll put my presence out there. It's going to happen, hopefully. But if it doesn't, it doesn't. The point is I know I did something, and that I am on the right side of history, rather if I win or lose. Look at everything that's going on. You're not going to be able to go have a garden someplace. I feel bad for people who are, I'm not saying don't try to do these things, but just understand with what the world's doing, the power brokers of this world are controlling a lot of stuff. Okay? And they are doing, and I've seen this when I worked for the government, they are doing it textbook. One thing after the other. Bam, 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 bam. Multiple crises happening at the same time, and they don't want to give you a chance to catch your breath. So again, I don't call for violence. I just call to be prepared. First off, it wouldn't be violence. I'm not calling on you to use force yet. But I'm saying you should be training and being prepared for self-defense, because you're going to need to be able to defend yourself. They're not going to leave you alone in the mountains someplace. They're burning all the forests on the east and west coast. They want to leave the least amount as possible in this country of places where we can't go hide. If you think they're going to leave you alone, I want you to think about, Mesoamerica. Were they left alone by the Spanish conquistadors who had to travel all the way over on a boat? Now they've got technology where they can fly anywhere, and they can use satellites to see you no matter, almost anywhere you're at. They can see into the earth. There's a few places on this earth where you might be able to hide a little bit, but you're not going to be in some city someplace, or just outside of a city someplace in some small rural area with their garden and think that they're going to leave you alone. Like they've gone through all this, but they're going to leave you alone. And I'm not mad. Try to do whatever it is you can. You're not bringing harm to anybody. That's fine. But this is to my voting friends. This isn't to my anarchist friends. And anarchy, there's no anarchists being violent. Anarchists aren't violent. Anarchists aren't violent. So, all the years when they say anarchy's broken out and anarchists are doing this and doing that. Anarchists aren't downtown flipping over cars. Those are voters. You think anarchists vote? We don't vote. We don't want a master. You hear this bullshit that comes up. If you don't vote, you don't have an excuse. You don't have an excuse to complain. You didn't vote. You're not allowed to complain. The fuck I ain't. I didn't vote, and I got a master. I'm allowed to complain. You voted, and it don't matter what master you got. You played their game. You voted. You don't have an excuse. You don't have a reason to complain. I'm saying wake the fuck up. There's not a whole lot of people voting in this country anyway. There really isn't. So, I don't know. That's just my little message for today. I really do wish humanity the best. I pray for us all the time. We need to heal our contradictions. Okay? And don't confuse hypocrisy with contradictions. I've been a hypocrite in my life. I'll admit it. I have admitted it. I've written about it, and I'll write about it more. But once that's healed and done, I already and still have always had the contradictions completely reconciled. Reconcile the contradictions within your belief system, and you'll start to wake up and see the truth. Okay? God is not some loving, forgiving being, but wants you to do child sacrifices and murders and kill all the firstborn children in Egypt. If you get slapped, turn the other cheek. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. See, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth was in the Old Testament. Jesus said it if you get slapped on the one side, if you turn the other cheek, which basically means if they're not taking what you're teaching, just keep teaching it. And I'm glad I've had people do that for me. He was teaching the truth. He was trying to teach the truth in a way that they would understand it at that time. And he was eventually murdered for it, or attempted to murder him for it, because he didn't die then. Also, he married Mary Magdalene. It's said they even had children. Do I know this for 100% fact? No. But I'll never go with the main narrative of anything. You know, you dig a little bit deeper and you get surprised by things. So she was one of his main teachers. So the sacred feminine and sacred masculine have always existed. Always existed. And they're trying to destroy that dynamic. That beautiful dynamic. Because we're in a population control agenda. And right now the coal is happening. So, as I was saying before, discernment's going to be important. Because you don't know who the enemy is or who the enemy isn't. People are going to be switching sides and jumping sides. It's called Japanese Ren. In the 1400s, when the Ronins were having... the samurai wars were happening in Japan, and people were jumping sides left and right. It got you so confused. Nobody knew who was what because they want complete chaos. A do ab chaos, order out of chaos. It's a Freemason. That's Latin. It means order out of chaos. It's a Freemason saying. Speaking of the Latin, semper fidelis, always faithful. To God with a capital G, to all of humanity, and to those of us who want to live in peace. Semper Fi. That's what Semper Fi means to me now. So anyways, nothing but love. I know I was a goofball today. If you lasted this long, man, you're just somebody who knows me and wants to see what the next crazy thing I'm going to do is. But anyway, until next time, man, stay safe. This Thursday I'll be doing my my Thursday morning coffee rant where I don't cuss and use profanity. But until the next time, stay safe.